Nostalgia is one of the most powerful marketing tools ever created. It's how companies sell you things. It's how developers sell you things. It's how you sell yourself things. So when I saw 80s Overdrive, chunky sprites, retro scaling, Outrun vibes, my brain went, buy it now. Just raw dog the whole thing. No reviews, no hesitation, just pure, unfiltered childhood manipulation. Again, from the company and myself. And for the most part, sure. 80s Overdrive is a 2020 arcade racer that is aggressively trying to remind you of games like Outrun, Top Gear, or even Rad Racer, which is on this list. And honestly, it does a pretty solid job, but like most nostalgia-driven games, there's a difference between looking like the past and actually understanding why the past worked. Let's be clear, this is a superscalar throwback, and visually, they nailed it. A lot of modern retro racers try this look and completely miss. Too smooth, too simple, or somehow worse than the original. This gets very close. Now the cars, they look great. No licenses, obviously, but you can tell what they're supposed to be. Yeah, that's a DeLorean. Don't lie to me. UI, perfect retro vibes. Character portraits, great touch. It pulls DNA from Outrun and Top Gear, but here's the big issue. This game is weirdly static. The world doesn't feel alive, clouds don't move, the environment barely animates, the cars don't have much personality. It's like a really nice screenshot simulator. Even older games like Outrun had dust effects, animated scenery, more movement overall. This game looks the part, but doesn't fully act the part. The gameplay is simple, like arcade simple. Accelerate, steer, don't crash. That's it, and honestly, that's fine. You dodge traffic, avoid cops, and try to win. Yes, I said avoid cops, because nothing says relaxing retro racer like law enforcement. The problem is, once you played one race, you've basically played them all. The tracks feel like the same road wearing different outfits. You've got narrow lanes, wide lanes, split lanes, and that's about it. Even the hills feel like an afterthought. Now, this is where things get weird. Every race costs money. You also have to refuel, repair, and upgrade. So if you lose early on, congrats, you're broke. Like, no joke, you can't do another race. You can grind money through a minigame, but let's be real, nobody wants to play a car wash simulator just to afford racing. At that point, the best strategy is to start over, which is not great. That said, I actually like the upgrade system. Do I upgrade my current car? Buy a new one? Spend money on boosts or repairs? There's some actual strategy here. And the random pre-race objectives, those are really nice touches. They help break up the repetition. But the racing itself, it's mid. Not bad, not great, just kinda there. The biggest issue is speed. You are going fast, but it doesn't always feel fast. Unless you're weaving through traffic like a maniac and crashes, you just kinda stop. That's it. No drama, no impact, no flair. Meanwhile, other cars, they have plenty of impact. Especially when they slam into you from behind repeatedly. There were multiple times I crashed, recovered, immediately got hit again, lost the race. And remember, you paid to enter that race, so now you're broke, damaged, and annoyed. This is an arcade racer. Why am I dealing with financial stress right now? I have enough of that in my real life. This is where things split hard. The music, fantastic, absolutely carries the game. Turn the music off, and the game falls apart instantly. Because the sound effects, not great. Engines just kind of drone, tires screech, other drivers with their horns scream at you like you owe them money. That's about it. So this is a great superscalar style throwback. It nails the look better than most modern attempts. The racing is competent, and the upgrade system adds some nice strategy. Also, this is actually a real game, which is more than I can say for half of the nostalgia bait on Steam. But what about the cons? It lacks the soul and personality of the games it's copying, and that is a huge con. When you're just making a game that looks old to get people to buy it, it needs to do something. It needs to be better than what those old games were, because you can just go back to those old games. But when you play it, just like the sound design, it's But what's not is the economy system, which can be frustrating very early on. And again, once that nostalgia wears off, you're left with a pretty racer. 80s Overdrive is a solid arcade racer, if you get it cheap. If you grew up with superscalar games, you'll probably enjoy it. If you didn't, this might just feel like a mid-tier racer with a retro filter. But don't get me wrong, this is a perfect Steam Deck game, quick play session game, I've got 15 minutes game, but not a sit down and play for hours game. Now, where does it land on the list? It's better than Pit Stop. It's better than Atari Carts. It's definitely more stylish than Juiced, and Juiced really doesn't have that kind of racer style, racer good. Like, it's a meh to kind of racer game, you know what I mean? It's close to Cyclemania, I'll tell you that. But better overall. It's better than Cyclemania. It's definitely better than Cyclemania. It plays better than Cyclemania. Cyclemania is a wow. But not like, wow, this is amazing. Cyclemania is a, wow, they did that, huh? So yeah, it's better than Cyclemania. Still, it's not going to touch Art of Rally. That game has better identity, better design, better sound, better mechanics. So this lands at number 11. Which honestly, not bad, especially for a game powered almost entirely by nostalgia and vibes. Redout is one of those games I somehow completely missed, and now I'm mad about it, because this is absolutely one of those hidden gem situations. We already played Redout 2, so going back to the original, I had high expectations, and honestly, this game had one job: be a Wipeout F-Zero style racer in a world where nobody makes those anymore, and guess what? They understood the goddamn assignment. Now yeah, this came out in 2016, so obviously it's not going to look as good as Redout 2, but honestly, this still looks really damn good. Instead of going for realism, it leans into this PS1, PS2 futuristic aesthetic, and absolutely commits to it. Low poly ships, bright neon tracks, insane color contrasts. The effects are fantastic. I mean, the sparks when you scrape walls, engine glow, motion blurs, the screen shake. This is a PS2 early 360 game. If you're into those type of games, I am. And most importantly, you feel the speed. Unlike the last game we played, you never really felt that speed. Like, this game doesn't just tell you you're fast, it shakes your entire existence to prove it. There's also a ton happening on screen, but somehow it's all understandable. You can see what's going on. You can react to what's going on. Which is impressive at these speeds. You blink and you're in another zip code. Track design is also excellent. This is where lesser games fail. Just like 80s Overdrive, those tracks were just uninspired. And other games, they'll give you speed, but you have no idea where you're going. This, you always know where to turn, where to jump, and the HUD, genius. Key info like shields and energy are placed directly on your ship, so you don't have to look away. Because at this speed, looking away means you're dead. This game is fast, like not, oh, this is quick fast, more like, I missed a turn and now I'm reconsidering my life choices fast. But here's the thing. It controls beautifully. Everything is tight, responsive, and easy to understand. This is something I struggled with in Redout 2 at first. This, I locked in almost immediately. You've got boost management, braking, strafing, energy controls, and it all just works. There are upgrades, new ships, sponsorships, which add some nice depth, but at its core, this is a pure arcade racer. Race, win, upgrade, repeat. And honestly, the loop is addictive as hell, but this is where the PS1, PS2 inspiration kind of bites it, because the structure is very simple. There's no deep campaign, no big narrative push. It's basically, here's a track, go fast, which is great, but also, that's it. It's a meaty game, but not a lot of meat. Still, I kept coming back because nothing here is frustrating. Everything feels fair, and when you mess up, it's on you, which is exactly what a game like this should be. And again, compared to 80s Overdrive, this has a little bit more soul to it, right? It's a game that if you didn't have nostalgia for those older games, like I don't have nostalgia for F-Zero or Wipeout, but I still enjoyed the game. So after playing 80s Overdrive, I was a little nervous because that game basically said music carries everything for this title. This does not have that problem. The sound effects are fantastic. Engines sound powerful, speed feels intense, ambient audio pulls you into the world, and this is the full package, baby. And the music, also incredible. If you got a good sound system, this game will absolutely flex it. Everything, graphics, gameplay, sound, they all match in quality, which is rare. This is a perfect example of a Wipeout style racer done right. It looks great, plays great, sounds great, the controls are tight, the speed feels incredible, and it is just fun. But it is a bit shallow. There's not a ton of variety outside of the core loot, and yeah, the graphics are starting to show their age. But barely. Like, this still looks better than a lot of newer games. So where does Redout land on the list? Well, I'm starting to see a pattern. We've got this line between great games and just good games, and Redout sits right there. It's not as good as Redout 2, which makes sense. That game is an evolution of this one, but I think it beats Need for Speed because at the end of the day, this just plays better. It feels faster, it feels tighter, so yeah, this is where we hit that line, from great to good, and Redout is sitting comfortably in the great side of it. I know, right? Fucking Redout. Let's go. Need for Speed 2015, the reboot, the comeback, the game that was supposed to say, we fixed it. They did not fix it. We already played the original Need for Speed, and now we're here. The big reboot, the return to form, the we went too far, let's go back a moment. And then somehow, they went even further after this, which is impressive. At this point, the franchise is basically on life support. At this point, the franchise is 6 feet underground. But that's not stopping me. I'm playing all of them, even the weird ones, especially the weird ones. Now this game, this is what I call a beautiful disaster. It had the vision, it had the vibes, it had the street racing culture, and then it tripped over its own controller. Also, this is basically the dirty version of Forza Horizon, and I mean that in the best way possible. So let's get into the graphics. In 2015, this game looked insane. Like, stop the car and stare at the puddle reflection insane. And I know people get pissed about games with water on the road for some reason. It still looks good, I'm sorry. And yeah, even today, you can see some jagged edges, some low-res textures creeping in, but overall, this is still a looker. Ghost Games absolutely nailed the aesthetic. This is pure underground energy. Wet roads, neon lights, grimy streets, the orange sodium glow you don't see anymore because LED lights ruined everything. There's a level of dirt and realism here that modern racers just don't have. Forza Horizon, for example, looks clean. Too clean. This feels like you're actually in an illegal street race at 2 a.m. Everything is overexposed, glossy, slightly dirty, slightly chaotic, and it works. I love the look of this game, but then, ladies and gentlemen, we get to the full motion video. Yeah, this game uses live action cutscenes, and people are very split on this. Some hate it, some don't care. Me, I love it because it feels like classic Need for Speed. And also, it's completely ridiculous. Even better, they mix CGI cars into the real footage, and once you notice it, you can't unsee it. It's kind of distracting, but also kind of amazing. The fact that you can see your modded car in the cutscene is kind of wild, and I don't think anyone has ever tried to do this again. I bet it wasn't easy, because yeah, you can really see it. Alright, here's where things fall apart. The driving, the one thing you absolutely need to get right. They didn't. The drifting, which was heavily advertised is bad. Like, not unplayable, but definitely not good. It's janky, it's inconsistent, it doesn't feel smooth. Other games at the time did it better. And now there are mods for it and videos online to get it to feel better, but man, you shouldn't have to deal with that when that game came out. It's not an old game either. They had time to perfect it. They've perfected it in the past. So yeah, the handling overall is this weird mix of arcade plus realism, but without the benefits of either. You're constantly fighting the car, not enough to lose every race, but enough to never feel comfortable. And that's the problem. There's no flow state. You're always adjusting, always correcting, always slightly annoyed. And maybe that's fine for a race sim. This is not a race sim. This is an arcade racer that's inspired by Need for Speed Underground. But, and here's the weird part though. I still had fun. The races are enjoyable, the progression works, and the story, shockingly engaging. Yes, it's corny, very corny, but it's the right kind of corny. Like a bad car movie you can't stop watching. You've got characters like Amy, who is cool, Travis, who is interesting, and Spike, who is annoying, but kind of in a fun way, I guess. They're not they're not great, but I enjoyed what was on screen. And you also have real car culture icons like Ken Block and Akira Nakai. I may have butchered that name, I apologize. This game is basically a love letter to street racing culture, turned up to 11. The sense of speed is also great, and that's also probably something they said in the script, because like I said, it is corny as hell. Anyway, the camera shakes, it shifts, it reacts, it feels alive, which makes it even more frustrating because you can feel how close this game is to being great. Customization looks great, but not deep enough. I wanted to go full underground with these cars. The game said, best I can do is 2 hood scoops. Progression though, I actually like it. You don't get showered with cars like in Forza. You have to earn money, upgrade your car, work your way up. And that makes your car feel important, even your starter car. But then the game starts doing weird stuff. Phone calls during races. Why? People are calling you mid-race, talking over everything, and you can't even deal with it properly. Rubber banding AI, very noticeable. You'll be blasting ahead, only for everyone to magically catch up, or someone miles ahead of you will suddenly slow down. And then there's the always online system. You can't pause. You can't just stop. You have to finish the race, find a safe spot, avoid cops, then check messages when someone calls you in the middle of a freaking race. This is an arcade racer. Why am I managing my schedule? This is where the game redeems itself. The sound design is fantastic. Engines sound amazing. Tunnels echo properly. Turbo superchargers, gear shifts, all excellent. This game sounds alive, like you're actually part of an illegal race at night. And very importantly, upgrades change how your car sounds, which is huge because you hear the progression. Also, I play without music because if your sound design can't stand on its own, you failed. This does not fail. So the visuals are incredible. The atmosphere is unmatched, even to, say, the new Forza Horizon game, which I put on number 1. The story is surprisingly engaging. Progression feels meaningful. Sound design is top tier, and the world actually feels alive. Or at least as alive as a city at 2 AM can be. But the driving mechanics are sloppy. They fight against you. The drifting is disappointing, customization isn't deep enough, and the lack of flow during races really hurts that experience. And that's what a racing game should have. All the other things could be bad, but if the racing mechanic, if the driving was good, you can kind of forgive it. This game hurts because it's so close to being amazing. You can see it, you can feel it, you can hear it. If they made a sequel and fixed the handling, this could have been number 1 easily, but instead, we got a flawed, beautiful game that you should absolutely try before EA decides it doesn't need to exist anymore. So where does it land? Top 10, maybe even top 5, but just barely, because while it does a lot right, the flaws are too big to ignore. It beats out the original Redout, but not Redout 2. If the mechanics were better, it would beat out Redout 2. It'd be toe-to-toe with Forza Horizon, but this lands at number 5. And honestly, it probably won't stay there long. Don't forget, this list is very short, and I do think this is better than all those other games. At some point, it's got something better. The driving is not great, but it's not broken. It's not horrible. It's just annoying. But not that annoying where I wasn't having enough fun. This game is a shame because this was supposed to be the comeback, the reboot, the return of Need for Speed, and it almost was, man. And they never recovered after this. They got better Need for Speed games after this, but it was never the Need for Speed. You know what I mean? This one hurt. Sometimes you just scroll through a digital store and see a game for 99 cents and think, yeah, that's probably a mistake. That's how I ended up with Death Track Resurrection. A 2008 combat racer for PC and PS3. Xbox 360? Nope, not invited. Get the fuck. You just know a game is going to be great if it's not even ported to the 360. And going in blind, no reviews, no context, no expectations, just vibes and poor financial decisions, I immediately knew one thing. This is the most 7th generation game I've ever seen in my life. You know the type. Dark, edgy, loud, confusing, and probably smells like energy drinks. But let me tell you, this game is a greasy mess, but an entertaining greasy mess. So visually, this game lands somewhere between, wow, that's ambitious, and did my GPU just file a complaint? This is peak Windows XP core energy, by the way. Everything has that weird early HD look, like it almost figured out modern graphics, but then gave up halfway and said, bloom lighting will fix it. Menus? Edgelord Central. Cutscenes? Absolutely chaotic. The whole aesthetic looks like someone asked, what if Rob Zombie designed a racing game UI? While drunk. and sleeping. And the answer is this. But, and this is important, you can actually see what's happening. You can spot the tracks, the shortcuts, the enemies, the trucks you're about to absolutely obliterate. So yeah, it's ugly, but it's functionally ugly, which honestly, very on brand for 2008. The gameplay, oh boy. This is a PC-ass PC game, and I mean that with love. This is basically Mario Kart if Mario Kart had made terrible life decisions. Like, you got weapons, you got chaos, you got strategy, kind of, but you do have combat racing with shotguns, missiles, absolute nonsense physics, and somehow it kind of works. The controls are surprisingly solid. The combat, actually fun. The progression, you can upgrade your car or earn money. Even when you lose, you keep improving your build, which is good because you are going to lose a lot. This game is hard. You will go from first place to 10th place in about 3 seconds flat, and you won't even know what hit you. But there's something here. It's janky, it's shallow, but you can tell the developers were trying to build something bigger. I mean, there's a story, technically, upgrade paths and destructible environments for some reason, but honestly, blowing up a truck with a shotgun turret strapped to your hood, that's cinema, baby. The audio is exactly what you think it is. Loud announcers, butt rock, industrial metal, volume balancing? No, we don't know what mixing is. The engine sounds are actually pretty good though, but the explosions, they're not just loud, they're legally obligated to wake your neighborhood up loud, like your ears are gonna bleed. Everything feels slightly out of sync, slightly overtuned, but weirdly, it fits. It's kind of part of the charm. Just maybe don't use headphones when you play this one. This game has surprisingly tight controls. It's fun, chaotic combat, and the upgrade system keeps you kinda hooked. That perfect, so bad, it's fun energy. I enjoyed this game. Will I play it again? Probably not. But visually, yeah, it's rough, man. Power-ups can be confusing, tracks can feel messy and hard to read, insane rubber banding as well on this one. Like seriously, you could be dominating a race and the AI will just decide, hey, what if we ruined your day? So where does Death Track Resurrection land? Is it a great racing game? No. Is it even a good racing game? Is it fun? Yeah, actually yeah. And sometimes that's all you need. This is the kind of game you play with a friend, eat terrible food, laugh at the chaos, and somehow keep coming back to it. On the rankings list, it's sitting right around 80s Overdrive, but honestly, I'm giving it the edge because 80s Overdrive is competent, this is chaos, and sometimes chaos wins. It's not refined, it's not pretty, it's barely holding itself together, but man, it is a good time.
Go drive a dumpster truck.